Alright, boom. Hey, whoa. Y'all go to the back of the, hey, I'm watching you. Come closer. Where you think you going? Y'all know damn well this title refers exactly to people like you. And you wanna run away. Look, man, come closer. You know you relate. Yo, we're breaking down the death of critical thinking, how stupidity took over. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I see a bunch of y'all running to the back of the back because you know the shoe fits you very well. Hey, you're here to learn, right? I don't know how many of y'all are part of this group that's being referred to by this title, but let's see it.
Cause this mind is straight chatter, but I can barely say something. Feel like shit don't matter, so beware the fun cutting. It's volumes of demise, I hear the sound buzzing. So when she said she wanna die, and he sees she ain't bluffing, so he held her to the skies, cries, sour momentum, passive with goodbyes. I'd rather you tell him.
Yo, had to really quickly get to that mute, to that unmute on the mic. It's pretty far, I'm not gonna lie. It's way deep into OBS. So I had to literally minimize everything just to get to OBS. Now, yo, the death of critical thinking still added, still my son aperture. You feel me? Breaking it down. We are at how stupidity took over. Understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's see it from a scientific point of view.
I may say so.
Full disclosure.
What?
Dr. Kosmina recently joined Google as a visiting researcher,
Beautiful.
although this relationship began after the project was completed. In contrast, LLMs like ChatGPT or even Google's Gemini do not allow you to interact with the concepts in the same way. There is no analysis, so you retain a lot less information.
The more you actively engage with material, the better able you are to understand and to retain it. What do we do with large language models? We issue a command and it produces output.
Yeah.
That's very different than doing that directly yourself. So we're not doing depth of processing when we're using LLMs.
Predictably, much of the mainstream reaction to the MIT study played up the potentially negative implications of a world in which many of our day-to-day mental tasks are outsourced to AI. Natalia largely considers this a classic case of confirmation bias, people seeing what they, or what their audience, want to see.
So I'm personally very excited for AI. The paper we released literally 2 weeks after this one actually does connect ChatGPT and brain activity of a person literally to actually improve and change some of the outputs. So here you go, so much for anti-AI.
Nice.
And like it or not, it's already here and it's here to stay. Having insinuated itself into every corner of the online world.
Facts.
We all use it. We already all use it. You hate it, you still use it.
Bro, I'm actually stressed out, man. Literally, my AI is not even responding to me right now. Yep. Yeah, no. It is a fact. It is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. We are that dependent on, like, I'm weak in the body, bro. So, you know, because, you know, I was trying to, like, search some stuff, and plus I use the voice command. It's way easier for me to, like, find information while I'm here on stream. Like, I'm a very slow typer, bro. I'm a terrible ass typer, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to do that to myself. I ain't trying to have y'all look at me that weird, you know what I'm saying? And so, since, you know, but, you know, it's just a matter of setting it up because I changed my microphone. And so therefore I gotta, you know, make sure that the settings are sensitive to the microphone that I'm using right now, so that my, you know, so that my co-pilot can hear me and shit. But yeah, I'm literally stressed out, bro. That's how dependent we are on these things. Facts.
We'll use it.
Still, her eyes are wide open to the unprecedented dangers that it might represent.
Social media is a great example of what we have already lost, like the trains that already left the platform. Social media is an excellent, awful excellent example in this way of things that we didn't regulate well. We missed so much.
In a perfect world, the powers that be would have been ready for the challenges presented by LLMs.
Government oversight needs to happen in a more proactive and not reactive way, right? It's this social media. Like, why haven't we learned anything from that example? LLMs are ultimately, you would say, on the scale are 10-fold, 100-fold, ultimately more powerful. So why that is not being taken into consideration? They were not just released randomly in December of 2022. That product was in the making and we knew about it. So why it's only researchers that are monitoring that?
Governments weren't the only ones that were caught flat-footed. For all we know, the entire higher education system could very well be on the brink of collapse.
I want to say the 12th of December, 2022, and I was grading exams, and it's the end of the semester. Look, a plagiarized essay normally screams its nature, right? It's a piece of crap. Yeah. It's a cobbled together document that shows they have no idea what they're supposed to be writing about.
Nice.
This was not that, right? This was not a piece of crap. It was well written enough. It showed an excellent understanding of something I expected them to understand, and then just absolutely got Hume wrong on something else. That's odd. That's just not a set of red flags I'd ever seen before. And I'd heard people talking about this ChatGPT thing on the internet, but I would say broadly and in general, we had no idea what it was capable of. So I turned to this AI thing. All right, what is this? And I played with it. And eventually I came out with something that was producing verbal quirks that looked very much like what this essay looked like.
Dr. Hick had just encountered his first example of what we now know as ChatGPT hallucination.
I'm Darren Hick. I am Associate Professor of Philosophy at Furman University.
In addition to contacting his school's administrators, Darren then went online and made a post, one that would...
I feel like, you know, that whole ChatGPT hallucination, I would equate it with like, you know, botting. You know, people that use bots to like make themselves appear as if they have a lot more viewership than what they actually do have. You know what I'm saying? Because now, okay, at first sight, it looks like wow. You know what I'm saying? But then when you look deeper into it, you realize that, yo, at a certain moment, all of that breaks away. Like you see what's real, and you see where the authentic energy of that person is. You know what I'm saying? So the room becomes empty real quick. The chat becomes empty real quick within a matter of just like 5 minutes, right? I mean, apparently that's how they be finding out that, you know, streamers be botting and shit like that. It's like they lose a certain amount of viewership like very quickly, right? Because I mean, it would make sense that you pay for those bots to be around for a certain amount of time, and then once your coins, right, once your credit has ran out, game over. The game is over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so therefore, it's like, yo, the time that professor realized that, damn. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge that I saw in this section of the essay, this was beautifully written. But then now to see how, you know, just non-understanding that this person is of this whole entire subject. While they got it right here, or they got it beautifully here, but then it's like night and day with just like how wrong they got shit here. Right? It's like, damn, like, the fuck? Like, something doesn't add up, you know what I'm saying? A third party entity has been used to execute what was needed to be executed here. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, I smell bots. I smell bots in these chats. I smell bots in these streams and these. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the parallel makes sense to you, man, but damn, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same thing to me, shit.
Ultimately be shared 17,000 times.
My first move after doing that was to then explain all this to the internet. I thought, I've got a lot of friends on Facebook right now who are also crunching their way through essays. There's a solid chance they're going to encounter this thing, which at that point was 2 weeks old. And so I thought, I'll just put this out there on the internet and, it sort of pull a Paul Revere and say the AI is coming.
It was immediately obvious that academia was in for a massive challenge.
That's crazy.
So I looked at all my assignments, including the assignments I had coming up that next semester, and it was like I had specific...
Oh, you had opened up Pandora's box. I'm thinking... Whoa. Thought my internet went out there for a second. I'm thinking, bro, probably like 95% of all the assignments that were submitted to you was freaking AI. You know what I'm saying? Once you ran it under some sort of analyzer. Damn. Or verified.
We've written these things to be answered by ChatGPT. It screamed at me and said, you are in for it. I've thought more about teaching in the last 2.5 years than I've taught about it in the last 20.
Even before AI came to college campuses, many were already panicked about the contemporary state of academia.
I think that our students today have had a healthy dose of skepticism drilled into them. I would say my students now are more skeptical about claims that are made to them. I don't know if they have been given the same skills for actually going and doing the research and finding out whether it was true. But I think their skepticism is a good place to start.
And he believes many of them possess a genuine desire to learn.
I would say they're stunted. However, I think that this is balanced out by a greatly increased curiosity and willingness to at least do a first stage of research on things that they are personally interested in without there being a project associated with that. So I think we're seeing a new set of skills that they've self-developed.
But in far too many cases, the world that they were born into has simply let them down.
Students who were elementary school students and high school students during the pandemic, there has been a definite drop-off in their preparedness for college. We are just starting to work our way out of that thing, but there's some weird effects we're seeing. It's not unusual for a student.
You know what's crazy about that is the fact that, as there's this decline in college preparedness, right? Well, that clearly shows a lack of, the kids' retention of the necessary information that they have to retain in order to, be qualified onto, college and, the tertiary level of education. Now, with them, having a lack of this college preparedness, it's like they're meant to be set back, you know what I'm saying, so that they could qualify to pass on to college, you know what I'm saying. But then it's not, now it's like, they don't even measure up to that standard, right? That's what it means. And now since they don't measure up to that standard, it's like schools have to lower their standards of the level of them qualifying to go into the next grade, go on to the next level of education, right? Of your educational level, phase, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Either that, or, there's gonna be a whole bunch of kids remaining behind and not being able to, obtain the right marks to go on to the next level. You know what I mean? Either that, or they're gonna have to just condone these students and just pass them on just as, some hush hush type shit. Like, hey, bro, just, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of them real quick. Even though they're still not prepared, you know what I'm saying, for college. You feel what I mean? Because now a whole bunch of kids are not going to be eligible to get into college. You feel what I'm saying? And that'll be the death of just like maybe tertiary education at that point. I don't know.
Students who have not read a book prior to coming to college. It's becoming more obvious. I'll put it that way.
As helpful a tool as ChatGPT is, it might be the worst thing that could happen to students. Young people should be building up their reasoning powers by pouring mental energy into researching and writing schoolwork, and now they can just get their own personal Jarvis to do much of it for them, skipping the reps their developing brains so desperately need.
Yeah.
If you think ChatGPT has ruined your critical thinking skills, consider future generations who might not ever even have the chance to develop them in the first place.
So then, in that case, you know, I've had the experience where I know how to function without ChatGPT. So if I am to encounter a generation that, you know what I'm saying, is not even gonna experience any form of reality without something like a ChatGPT, it's like, what the hell am I gonna communicate with that kind of person anyway? What are we gonna talk about? Like, or how? Actually, not what are we gonna talk? How are we gonna talk about the shit we about to talk about? How? You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna think like me. The conversation is not gonna be as engaging to me. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna think like me. At that time, probably the microchips will have hit the scene pretty solidly. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be at birth. They're gonna be, you know, inserted that microchip. They might not have brains at all. Bro, I feel like at that point, who the fuck wants to have a conversation with a cyborg? Them babies finna be cyborgs. Motherboard babies. No, facts. They're gonna have motherboards where their brains. Because think about it, bro. The fact that you can think and make your own decisions, right? Retain information that you need to survive, in, you know, within whatever environment that you're in, that you're born in. You know, that whole reality, right? That whole situation made for the brain, the size of the brain, how the brain functions, how the brain develops. You know what I'm saying? Using your brain to just like live and be. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what developed the brain. Therefore, the size of the head. Them kids gonna have microchip sized heads, dog. What are we talking? What the fuck is about to happen? Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I'd even be able to have a conversation with that kind of person, bro. Hopefully, these kind of things don't even happen during my lifetime. It's gonna be so awkward. I swear, bro. What? Hell no.
We have entered truly uncharted territory.
What you mean, brother?
A brave new world.
Nice.
Here, it potentially could be a danger for the whole development of critical thinking. In the very beginning, right, think about it, you know, you and me, we were born when LLMs were not a thing, right? So we developed the skill and ultimate skill to ask a question. And also, obviously, have the answer, understanding the answer, having the argument, disagreeing, right?
Yeah.
Having it hopefully polite as a discourse, the conversation in society. Now think about a child, right? We don't have right now results on any of these uses of LLMs on children. However, that is the real risk we are running here, right? If you have been, you know, taught with an LLM and there were no way of supervising it, right? We do not have actually data that would show that you would be able to develop these critical, you know, thinking skills of being in a society, in a human society, and more importantly, actually developing any human relationships. We don't have this data. I'm not talking specifically of adults who already developed them. That's exactly, you know, already the case. You have already developed it. Most likely you will also lose some of it. But I'm talking...
I think we're getting into that thing that I was just talking about. The fact that, yo, if you're born, once these microchips have even been rolled out, you've literally never been given an option to use your own brain at that point. Because these chat GPTs and blah blah blah, they're all in that microchip. So you have access to all these things from a cloud, from a software type of cloud, but like you've never thought shit yourself. I think she's getting into that, right?
Talking about the base, right? The base skills, the base understanding. You don't have base, it will be very hard for you to do any math. If you don't have a base, it's going to be very hard for you to build a conversation. So the idea is that you would not be able to pull two words together, literally, and more importantly, you would not be able to build real human conversations, and more importantly, relationships, right? So
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I gotta give it up, man. One time for school, dog. What? What? One time for school, bro. Oh, man. Come on, bro. Hey, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, school is one of those things where, it's taught a lot of people a whole lot of human skills, dog. Like, if anything, bro, school has taught you how to make friends. You know what I'm saying? School, and with you having made a whole bunch of friends or being able to do that, you knew how to, you know, conduct conversation. You know what I'm saying? School taught you, you know what I'm saying, how to go for that crush. You know what I mean? Go be smooth, get your riz together type. You know what I'm saying? School did that because you were forced every day to go and be among a bunch of freaking people, whether you like it or not. At school, that school did that. School might be the biggest contributor of just like you know, helping people develop social skills with one another. Well, institutions also like religious institutions, right? Church gatherings, things like that, things where we have these communions, we are together, you know what I'm saying, brotherhood, brethren, all that, things like that, you know what I'm saying. But like school in a very big way, because not a whole lot of people are religious, but damn near freaking the whole, okay, except obviously the minority that, you know, never had like maybe enough money to send their children to school or things like that, right? Damn near the whole world went to school, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had to go to school, because now you gotta understand, school is attached with your ability to even feed yourself one day. So everybody's going to school. Like, you don't have to go to church to be able to feed yourself, like to be able to get a job and then feed yourself one day. But you need to go to school, right? That's just like a basic prerequisite. So, and a whole lot that's attached with school is the you know, this opportunity to develop social skills. You understand what I'm saying? Even your relationship with authority, because things like teachers, headmasters, the principal, you know what I'm saying, HODs, things like that, these are like just like, these are the representative of the forces that you're gonna meet outside of school, like the government, you know, police, you know what I'm saying, all type of shit, political figures, just like, you know what I'm saying. So school is a miniature version of that kind of like real world representation. So like, yo, shout out school. But then now, bro, even that, bro, you know what I'm saying, get a whole lot of situations of people being homeschooled, isolated, you know what I'm saying, isolated from just like the whole social experience of school. You know what I mean? You're at home, you're getting the school curriculum from home, things like that. ChatGPT now is needed, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So damn, the times that we are in and are approaching makes me grateful for having experienced the whole school thing, the whole public school thing especially, right?
all of this,
well, you know, the setup where we all gather in this one spot or place or environment to do this whole school thing type shit
can actually be really developing for our society, and that can actually happen within one generation, so very fast. And I'm pretty sure no one wants this, you know, this devolution.
This dark vision of the future does not seem all that far-fetched or even that far off.
Yep.
When OpenAI released ChatGPT 5, many people complained, not because AI was stealing their jobs, but because they felt that OpenAI was taking away their friend. The GPT-5 model was designed to be less friendly, and the outrage was so much that OpenAI had to reopen access to the older models because people were already too emotionally attached to it. It was so bad that Sam Altman had to make a statement that the parasocial bonds people were forming with ChatGPT was a pretty bad idea, and was moved to make an online statement detailing his discomfort with these parasocial bonds. The statement seemingly alluded to some deeply disturbing incidents that have recently been making headlines. Removing companion mode for the time being was a well-advised precaution, but it was only a band-aid. With a few tweaks, it might well be back for version 6.0, and
no.
even if it's not, as we all know...
Listen to me saying, oh no, like this shit is not inevitable to happen. Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's happening? Because at the same time, it's like, yo, it has to happen. Right? It has to happen. Everything that is invented and works will evolve, and it comes to evolve. You understand what I'm saying? It will be a companion. It will be a friendly neighborhood. Your friendly neighbor. Companion. Pet.
Where there's demand, supply will inevitably present itself. If OpenAI won't provide virtual companions, then their competitors will. As we reckon, with a world in which humankind struggles to find the common ground of agreed upon truth, are we already moving into a new one in which humans no longer seek to connect with each other at all?
Then at the same time, look at it like this, bro. I feel like everything, you know, at the point of its conception, right? It may be scary because of the fear of the unknown type shit. You know, everybody, you know, even myself, bro. You know, I'm watching this. I'm like, damn. Oh, scary, right? But it's like, think of the positive things that it may bring. You know what I mean? Because for everything that goes away, you know, something has to come through and replace it, right? For every door that how does the saying go? For every door that closes, another one opens. For every door that opens, another one closes. You feel me? So maybe, you know, with these traditional ways of engaging with one another socially, with the traditional way and standard of us socializing with one another going out the window, another standard should come in, right? Who knows? It might be fun. Hey. Keep that chin up, soldier. It might be fun. I don't know, a little hopeful moment, bro. I don't know. I'm trying to lift your spirits. This is my fault, shit. My bad.
So,
What?
that's where we are. Collapsing IQs, compromised critical thinking skills.
Nah, you know what? Now I feel like let's dip out real quick for a word from the sponsors, so that we can start. That looks like a fresh point to start from, right? Let's just do the sponsors real quick.
And I cannot keep competing and keep on living. So it's back against the world. Seeing all your value once you dealt with all the dirt. Backing up slowly from these diamonds and pearls, quote unquote. Fat lady sings, I see the writing on the walls.